good afternoon, or good evening, depending on which part of the world you're seeing my video from. Welcome to Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. And today we are looking at the topic that says, I am not a detribalized Nigerian. I know my tribe. I am Igbo by ethnicity, and my tribe is Enuani. My clan is Oboluku. My lineage is Umodukobi, and my family is Onwode. I know my tribe. If tomorrow I pass, I will be buried by this lineage. These lineages that I mentioned will conduct my funeral. When I was born, I was ushered into this world by Igbo customs. I was presented to my Umunna, the oldest man in my family, who is my father, raised me up. On my 7th day, a naming ceremony was conducted for me. On the 8th day, I was circumcised. Then, Omugo was performed by my mother's mother, who was late by then, but a sibling did that particular rite. All the Igbo cultural festivals and rituals that are done during the birth of a child were done for me. When it was time for me to become a man, I underwent the rites of passage into manhood according to Igbo traditions. I went through the rites of passage to become an Ikolo Nzizezi, which is the rank of a young male youth. Ikolo Nzizezi. I progressed from Ikolo Nzizezi to Mbe Nzizezi of Ikolo, where I am today. I am still considered in our custom and age grades as a youth, Ikolo. As time goes by, I will also progress into Ike, the rank of men in my within my kinsmen, within my lineage. All these are stages in Igbo rites of passage. When I got married, my marriage ceremony was also conducted according to Igbo customs, because I married an Igbo woman as well. Stating all this and still coming out to say I am not Igbo is like a joke. Now, you will have seen the thumbnail of this broadcast and you will think, what is this man saying? I know what I posted. Anyoma isn't from Igbo. The people of Enuani are not from Igbo. The people of Okwani are not from Igbo. The Ika people are not from Igbo. Rather, they are Igbo. They are not from. They are. A lot of people saw my post on Facebook this evening saying, I am not a detribalized Nigerian. I know my tribe. I am Igbo. And they said, oh, perhaps he's among the Igbo migrants. He's a descendant of the Igbo migrants in Anyoma. And I pinned that comment so that the guy can come back and explain further. And I asked him, I am a son of Ezemu, the founder of Ubuluku Kingdom, which makes me a prince of Ubuluku Kingdom. So I asked him, mention one tribe, mention one lineage that lived in Anyoma before my ancestor Ezemu. I have not seen his response. From his name, Nosakare, he's a Bini person. I'm still waiting for his response. When you know your roots, when you know your identity, it will be difficult for you to be swayed left and right. If I pass tomorrow, I will equally be buried according to the customs and traditions of the Igbo people in Ubuluku Kingdom. This makes me an Igbo man, true and true. I am a full-blooded Igbo man. Igbo Gembo Akani na Akebe. My mother is Igbo. My father is Igbo. My mother is of the lineage of Umuokuni Ogai in Ogwashuku Kingdom. And my father is of the dynasty of Ojukobi, the king of Ubunuku Kingdom. I am of both sides, both left and right, an Igbo man. I am not of any mixed blood. So I am Igbo. And I am using this privilege to take this message to every single Igbo person out there, especially those from areas that are affected by identity crisis. Areas where you will see somebody trying to accept their political identity more than their cultural identity. Reason because their cultural identity is constantly under threat. Reason because when they accept their cultural identity, they are met with discrimination and all kinds of ill treatments that accompany that particular identity. They will rather embrace their political identity. For those in Edo State, they have had the privilege of being part of 4 different identities. They were first of all called Western Nigerians. Later on, they started calling them Midwestern Nigerians. At later point, they started calling them Bendel State and now Edo State. But one thing remained constant. If they are Eka people of Ibanke, they remained Eka. When I see videos of people from Ibanke, I just smile within myself and tell myself that our ancestors deserve to be brought back and presented with an award. They left an indelible mark of their footprints in the sands of time. They ensured that they were not wiped out or forgotten. Any place our ancestors named, be sure that you will find that name somewhere else. When I hear people in a bank saying they are from Olije, we the people of Olije, I will smile because there is also Olije in my own hometown, and those people will tell you that they are from Anidu. One thing is very difficult to change. You can't suddenly start telling people that their ancestors lied, they didn't know where they came from. Those people knew geography more than us. They understood differences between political identity and cultural identity, and they accepted them. Those people understood the great difference between political identity and cultural identity. When they tell you that their ancestors lived in Anidu, when they tell you that their ancestors lived in Anidu before they moved down towards this area, they know what they are saying. So when I see Olije in a banke, and I see Olije in my hometown, and they still claim that they are from the same place, I clap for my ancestors. When I see Onitsha in Ubuluku, in Ogwash, everywhere you turn, you see Onitsha. All over the eastern Igbo land, you will see Onitsha. You will know that our ancestors were not joking. They understood geography. When they call this place Enuani, we had not had any contact with the Europeans. When the Europeans eventually came, they discovered that this place called Enuani is the highest point in terms of altitude. In topography, they said this place is the highest point in this whole area. So all the telecommunications company, especially the TV stations of them, had their masks in those areas called Enuani, and they were serving the place called Okwan and the Wari areas. Those who are over 1,000 feet above sea level. Our ancestors knew that there was something called thousands of feet above sea level. So they call those places Enuani, upland. Those people were very wise. Our ancestors were very, very sagacious. So when we see people who are So when we see people who are leaning towards their political identity more than their cultural identity, I can't but try my best to bring them back. Your cultural identity doesn't change, even though your political identity will continue to change over time. For we, the Igbo people in Anioma, particularly those of us who are from Eka, Okuane, Enuani, we have remained Enuani people, irrespective of what our political identities changed to be. We were Western Nigerians. We were Western Igbos. That was what they called us. At a point, they started calling us Midwestern Igbos. Later on, they started calling us Bender Igbos. Then we moved to Delta Igbos. One thing remained constant. The word Igbo has never been found missing in our name. So we are, and I am, unapologetically Igbo. I am not the type that states that I am a detribalized Nigerian. I am not detribalized. I know my tribe, and I have respect for other tribes. I know my ethnic group as well. I cannot publicly deny my identity to fit in or sound politically correct. I am Igbo true and true. I was born and raised as a son of Igbo land. I am proudly Igbo. And there's nothing that can change this. Not intimidation, not deprivation. There's nothing I will go through now that my ancestors did not pass through. At a point, my ancestors had to wage war against Europeans for over 30 years in a war called Ekumeku Resistance, which stands today as the longest lasting anti-colonial resistance struggle in the history of mankind. 32 years of fighting against colonialism is not a joke. So, there's nothing I will be faced with now as a discrimination for being Igbo that my ancestors have not faced. So, I was born into a lineage, a bloodline of people who were proud of their identity. What was their fight all about? If you read the accusations that led to Ekumeku uprising, you will understand that our ancestors were not the type of people who sat back and allowed people to. There were people who stood by their right, who knew their right, first of all, before they can stand by it. These days, we have a lot of people who do not even know their left from their right. Anywhere you push them to, they will go. They don't even know what constitutes insult or disgrace. They can happily rejoice with a stranger who is insulting their father as long as the stranger is not insulting them. They don't know that if a stranger can insult your father, you are a nobody. They don't know that a stone cast into the market square may hit their mother. Even if it doesn't hit them, it can hit any of their family member. They don't know. They say, they are talking to Igbo, not me. But you are Igbo. Somebody picks up microphone and says, Igbo are the greediest, the cheapest people to buy. I thank God that I am not Igbo. And you say, where is the lie? He's saying the truth. Clap for him. Where is the lie? Somebody picks up a brush, even if it is the least or most inexperienced of painters, and brush an entire ethnic group with one brush, paint them with one brush, and you applaud that person. I am not trying to deviate from my topic, which I know I said. I am not a detribalized Nigerian. I know my tribe, and I am Igbo. My ethnic group is Igbo. My tribe is Enuani. My clan is Obolo. My community is Ubuluku. My lineage is Umo Ojukobi, and my family is Onwade. I know myself. I even know myself 10 to 20 steps backwards. I know the names of my ancestors. I am not dancing around. I am not looking for which identity to wear as a costume and then later I will remove it. when it suits me or when it doesn't suit me. That is why not just did my father give all his children Igbo names, I also learned from him to give all my children Igbo names. I did not even mix it up with English names, so that you will not see them tomorrow and start wondering, where is this one from? By the time you hear the name, you will know already that these ones are Igbo. And this is the reason why about 2 weeks ago, I celebrated our Grammy winners who are from Igbo land. All of them bore Igbo names. One of them is very striking because she had up to 4, 5 Igbo names. That is Cynthia Onyedemma Nazo Amarachukwu Erivolam, who is from Imo State. We also had people like Tyler Okoma and then Chibueze Obinna, who is also from Imo State. These people bore Igbo names. They made us proud. Imagine if when their names were called, it wasn't Igbo name. We will be wondering, are you sure he's Igbo? Are you not sure? This one, their name already gave them out. But myself, I'm saying, I am not in the class of Nigerians or people or bloggers or people who want to be politically correct, because that's the issue. People want to sound politically correct. I don't want any trouble, you know. We have to, as President Muhammadu Buhari late said, learn to live in peace with your brothers. In learning to live in peace with our brothers, we have seen what happened yesterday in Oil Mill, Rivers State. We saw what happened yesterday there. That same thing that happened in Oil Mill can happen in Obinze. It can happen in New Haven or Transekulo. It can happen anywhere in Igbo land. All those places where you have learned to live in peace with your brothers without wisdom. What happened in Oil Mill yesterday can happen anywhere. All the mother in Oil Mill, as no one wrote to Enuani, Igbo, where Emma Dubo or to one for Igbo. And it led so, my brothers and sisters, let us learn not to accept. We are not accepting that we are Igbo. You are embracing your cultural identity. You cannot change it. That is one very beautiful thing about cultural identities. You don't get to choose whether you are Igbo or not. It is not something you choose. You are. Some people became Igbo by choice. Don't get me wrong. But that was many years ago. I've not even seen that thing done in over 20, 30 years now. I've not seen them do it. But I have heard stories of people who were, not just stories, who have seen families that were made Igbo, who were not Igbo. Now in my lineage, you can have families living with us, who your father will tell you that this particular family, we are not one. We were not one with them. But they came to seek, like what you call asylum. They came to seek asylum in our midst because ours is a royal lineage. If you run into our midst, nobody can come there to harm you. And then they were inducted into our fold and they became one of us. By that right, they are now part of us. For protection, for anything, we are now one. But we cannot even marry their children anymore. Okay? Now, these people have become one of us. If 20 or 40 years later, or 100 or 200 years later, their children come to the internet and start saying they are not Igbo, it is because their parents were accepted. No problem. I've never had reason to doubt with such people at all. Only thing I tell them is this: if you feel you are not Igbo or you are not one of us, and that those things your fathers did to become one of us was it was a joke, please, you all know what we forbid. You all know our totems. Why not go and kill one of those animals and eat? You don't need to kill it. Let somebody kill and give you to eat. Eat now, let's see. They dare not. Because they have been welcomed into our midst. The rites of passage into becoming one of us, Igbo Banono, were completed and sealed with oath. Today, I saw a picture on the internet of 2 young men kneeling down before their elders and exchanging kola nut. A lot of people will misunderstand that picture, so I had to explain what it meant. Two brothers who were sworn enemies somewhere in Anambra State reconciled, and the lineage decided to bring them back together. They were asked to kneel down. They blessed kola nut, gave to this one, you eat more and give to the other one. Gave to this one, you drink small, you give to this one, you drink small. Or if you that obubando is what you also see in marriage ceremonies. Let me finish with this one. In this obubando, they are made to swear that none of them will ever look for any harm, anything that will harm the other party. They will ensure that they continue to live harmoniously as only. Nobody will ever seek anything that will harm the other person. So after the prayers, they will be given the kola nut to eat. They will give you two to drink. The same thing you see in marriages. When they tell husband and wife, they will bless the kola nut, give the husband, he will do like this and put it in his pocket. After he will throw it away, or he will give it to his younger brother to eat. The wife will eat, younger brother will eat, or elder brother will eat. He doesn't know that his wife or younger brother is entering into a bando with his wife. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand all that at all. He thinks everything is a joke. He will drink small, he give his younger brother. He will not, some will not even bother to drink. They will say it's poison. They will hide and throw it away. We have to be wise, like it is pure Igbo culture. We have culture. This is the same thing our ancestors did to welcome people into our lineage. This is the same thing our ancestors did to welcome people into our community. Those who are from Benin origin. Because we're not saying everybody was born Igbo. No, that's not what we are saying. We know there are people from Idu who were not originally Igbos. They were originally Yorubas or Igala or wherever they come from. And then they came to dwell in our midst. We even have people who call them Usobo. We call them Urobo people, Usobo people. So we call them only Isobo. They may not be Isobo, mind you, because by their greeting, they are just very close to Isobo. They may just be all these Ndokwa that are close to Urobo in Delta State, because their greeting is Ajay, and Ajay is what they greet those Ndokwa people, those Okwane people. But we call them Undi Isobo because they came from a place close to Isobo. But they have been welcomed into our midst. They now forbid what we forbid. They now eat what we eat. They now greet the way we do. They now participate in our festivals. Maybe 50 years later, 100 years later, you see their children come to the internet and say, we are not Igbo. We did not force your ancestors. And to also say you are not Igbo, you have to go back to the lineage and say, that thing you did for our ancestors that we welcomed them, we want to upturn it. If you don't, you are going to have a big issue. These things that I'm saying, welcome people, it is not just a mere ceremony. They are done before our lineage deities. Every lineage has its deity, mind you. Every lineage has its deity. In our Enuani, and Enuanis are constructed with a tree of the species Nuboda ladies. Some people call it Ogirishi tree. We will call it Igbo tree. A tree that doesn't die. It's an ageless tree. Even almost the leaf of the tree will germinate. So, the Igbo cultural identity is permanent. Therefore, Anyoma people are not from Igbo land. They are Igbos. We were not speaking a certain language before and later changed to Igbo. No. Our ancestors spoke Igbo, a very deep version of Igbo language. When I look at some of the etymology of some words in Igbo, I marvel how intelligent our ancestors were. Our ancestors didn't even know biology. They understood the role of bile and adrenaline in anger. So when they want to calm somebody or confront an angry person, they will say, Kafo we loa, Kafo we loa, Kafo we loa. As we know bianoku, as we know bianoku shine, Kafo we loa yo. They know what they are saying. When somebody is crying, I say, they know that this grief and pain comes from the lungs. So to calm the person, that is Ogo. Our ancestors understood that in psychology and cosmology, truth stands. As when Oziri means it is straight like the Uzi tree. Our ancestors understood all this. They were very sagacious people. And they left footprints everywhere. If I mention any community for you in my hometown, you will find it in the other sides of Igbo land. To tell you that they are not joking, there is Ogwashe in Anambra State. When they call Igbo people, they say Isu, to let you know that the Igbo people, part of it are from Isu. We also have Igbo on Oboli, to let you know that these ones are from Oboli and they are from Owe. When they name a community, they name it fully to let you know where the people who peopled this place are from. Our ancestors were very wise and sagacious people. Welcome to Enuani Cultural Forum, where we promote the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. You are welcome to this live stream, and I am inviting you to please hit the like button by double tapping on this video, and please share this video massively to your audience. Let us engage with each other. Let me know, which part of Igbo land are you from? It is not every community in Igbo land that suffers from identity crisis. It is usually the Igbo people who are the boundaries of our Igbo land that have this identity crisis. Now we must understand that those who run into our midst to live with us cannot define us. No, rather you will become one of us. That is how it has always been. We will not take up a new identity because you are in our midst. You will take up a new identity. So all the lost princes from Benin Kingdom, because they say once Oba and his children quarrel, they will run away. We go and wage. They say Oba asks his children to go and wage so place for them. He now asks this one to go and wage so place. They're not waging anywhere. There's no one community that will say Igbo invaded this place in so year, killed everybody there or conquered everybody there and imposed Igbo language on us. Not one community. Any place you hear them speaking the Igbo language, it is their indigenous language. Asusu Igbo aya asu no obodo nsi bia bu obunuku. Asusu obodo ya ke nadia ewe asu. Igbo okwaso. Eno no gbo eji asu asusu ozo mesi aba asusu onu baso n'Igbo. Yes, some words came into our diction by virtue of our interaction with our neighbors, but the interaction is even more. Our words in their own diction are more than their own words in our diction. All right? So, the Igbo language is original, it is indigenous to everywhere you hear them speaking it. I'm not talking about Igbo Izugbe. Now, there came a time when they decided that we have to speak a unified Igbo for official use. That is what you call Igbo Izugbe. That is why you will hear somebody making noise that it was a Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowder or whoever they want to credit it to that taught us how to speak Igbo language. Very funny. Very, very funny. Because my own ancestors have borne Igbo names. Most of our cultural festivals are named after the Igbo language. By that time, the people they are trying to attribute our language to were not even born. Their parents were not even born. So the Igbo people are a very unique people. It is not a kind of ethnic group that you will be from and you say, I wish I am not Igbo. So when I heard that young man ranting, exercising his ignorance and stupidity before the world by saying, I thank God, using toothpick to clean his very dirty teeth. I thank God, sir, I not be Igbo. That tribe, they are easy to buy. They are easy to buy, are very greedy. Because of the political decisions of a few people, you now decide to lampoon the Igbo people, because when they want to become prominent in Nigeria, when they want the federal government to recognize them, they will do any of these two things. One is to insult the Igbo vigorously, engage in a war of words with them, because our people also know that they don't know how to encourage the people who are doing well to promote Igbo culture. No, the one they know how, some people, I'm not saying everyone, but majority of our people, the one they love to do most is when they hear that oh my God, wait for them. They will storm that page and give that person massive engagement in the name of replying that person. Okay, and the person will blow up. Because that is what our algorithm recognizes. Say, this our brother is doing well, always doing well, they will slide past. So that is one of the problems we keep facing. So when this person opens his mouth to insult Igbo, they will go and give the person engagement. the person will feel, this post that I put yesterday went well, tomorrow he will come harder. Then the federal government will say, oh boy, I saw what you posted about Igbo, I saw them insulting you. Would you like to work with us? One of the strategies of them gaining prominence in Nigeria, we have seen it more than. We have seen it with Reno Mokri recently, very recently. We have seen it with Femi Fani-Kayode. They usually come out to tell you, my wife is Igbo. I sympathize. You don't sympathize with us. You're not better than us. You're not better than us. What was happening in Igbo land that we fought against, that the Yoruba people who are more interested in working in the Igbo are now suffering it now. We have also seen it with Peter Fayoshe, who claimed in his time that the Ekiti state is now part of Biafra. We have seen it over and over and over and over again. We have also seen the ones who will want to befriend the Igbo, not insult them, but make friends with them to form a strategic partnership when they are seeking for national recognition and relevance. Thank you so much, Tiny Life. God bless you. So, what I'm saying is this. The Igbo cultural identity is constant. It is not something that wavers or changes because of the weather. It is different from political identity. Tomorrow it can happen that a state you have once borne its name, for instance, Imo State now is over 50 years old. Okay? Imo State is now over 50 years old because it was created by Murtala Mohammed in 1976. If federal government decides now to rename Imo State, everybody who has borne the name Imolite, with the Imolite, you will no longer be an Imolite. But if you are from Egbema, you are from Egbema for life. You are an Egbema man for life. If you are an Igbo man, you are an Igbo man from Egbema for life. That one doesn't change. Cultural identity is constant. Political identity can change over time. Political identity changes over time, depending on how government wants to administrate or govern their people. But your cultural identity cannot change. It is not a costume. By dressing like an Hausa man tomorrow, I will not become an Hausa man. If I like, let me dress like a Yoruba man and even wear that their slavery cap, I will still not become a Yoruba man. I am an Igbo man, not because I chose, but because I was born as an Igbo man. Mine is from birth. My ancestors from birth as well. So, not every Igbo man has this knowledge. And that is why those who have the knowledge are doing their best to ensure that we share this knowledge to you, so that you know that your cultural identity cannot easily be changed, but your political identity can be changed. Thank you so much, Uzirich, for your membership gift. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me share this video, please, to my audience on other social media platforms. Please do well to also do this. Share this video to your audience. Let more people come and interact with us. Yes, welcome back. I have just successfully shared the video to my audience on other social media platforms, and I am begging you to please do same. Uzirich, once again, thank you for this membership gift. Thank you for your encouragement, and I am also using this medium to talk to our brothers and sisters who are watching this video. There are so many ways you can encourage anyone who is doing anything at all to promote Igbo culture. And I'm not saying it must be me. It mustn't be me. There are so many other channels out there who are promoting Igbo culture and tradition. I've seen a social media page owned by one Ifoma. I don't know her full name now. I've seen Adi Igbo Global. I've seen Deputy Jesus, the perpendicular bisector. I've seen Almighty, that is Success Magnus Osai, who is from Okwan, he's from Umuchi Mogume. I've seen Igwezwe TV. There are so many people out there who are promoting Igbo culture. I've seen a guy called The Tribes too. He's doing a very nice job. He's from Rivers State. There are so many people out there. There's also this my brother Beluchi Wamama, who is from Iseluku. He's the general manager of Trend FM Asaba. He's doing a very good job in promoting Igbo unity. What I plead with is this, or what I am appealing to you to do is this. When you see these channels that promote Igbo culture and tradition, please support them in any way you can. Support can come in form of you interacting with their post, you sharing their post, and you even calling them to order. There is one of my brothers who I don't even know if he's watching this video because he always watches my video. When I am through with this broadcast, he will call me or send me a message on WhatsApp and say, my brother, the topic you discussed today is very, very nice, okay? I am suggesting you talk about so topic. If there's also something I said, he will call me and say, title or this particular title or that is what I am asking for. And some people go the extra mile, like my brother here, Uzirich just did. Some will send you super thanks. Some will even seek your account number and send you a support. So that it takes love to cancel hatred. What we are doing is not simple. It doesn't end here. This is just one of the phases. On our community's social media platforms, also because the biggest backlash you face when you're not saying the truth is from your home. The biggest backlash you also face when you are saying the truth is from home. There are people who have lived this lie for over thousands of years. I know a particular kinsman of mine, he's in his late 70s. He has lived this lie for a long time. How do you now wake up and start telling him that he is Igbo? He has to be convinced. So he's not finding it easy. And he's very tech savvy. He types faster than even a youth. Before you know, blah, he has given you a response. He's giving you instances of what they did to him 50 years ago or 40 years ago so that you can come and defend it. You find out in the end that why people say they are not Igbo is because of their own personal experiences and grievances against a particular person who is Igbo. And I asked them this question, very, very straightforward question that I would like them to answer. I will usually ask you. For instance now, my name is Ngozi Chukwuka. I am the son of Onwade in Ubunuku Kingdom. People know my family. My father has many sons as well. I am the 10th son of my father. If for any reason 3 of my brothers offend me, will I now wake up one day and say, I am no longer a son of Onwadi because my brothers offended me? Okay, let me assume that I even come out tomorrow to say, I am no longer the son of Onwadi. Will people stop seeing me as the son of Onwadi? I want people to have that question at the back of your mind. If I come out tomorrow to publicly declare that I am no longer the son of Onwadi, will it stop people from seeing me as the son of Onwadi? No. It is not something you get to choose. Let's get these things into our head. Cultural identity is not something you get to choose. You don't cherry pick it. It is not udara. It is not. Cultural identity is something you are born into. You don't get to choose it. Okay? When you are born into an Igbo cultural identity, for instance, you are an Ngwa man. What if you get meta to stop being an Ngwa man? I will not at any time stop being an Obolo man. I will continue to be an Obolo man. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry for that break in transmission. When I said that cultural identity is not like it's not something you cherry pick. But udara, I went to get my own udara. So come and share with me. Nke a udara one. Ọkwa na ị na-like udara nwansi. Mana nke nwannu. Udara nwannu. Udara asị. Not necessarily nwa wa apịwa ọnụ. Nwere otu nsi wee pịwa ya ọnụ. Ị hụrụ ya? It's not as red as it should be, but it's still very, very one of the traditional trees Ejuwe Malundi Igbo is Udara. And for us, it is a female tree. After licking Udara, there's something we do with the seed as well as children. Some of the things we did that made life sweet for us as Igbo people. I'm going to do it here. If you have your Udara too, you can do it. And show your children. They will laugh. Because we did it as children. My children will be laughing. I'm supposed to get 2 from this, but I only got 1. Only have an earring. Udara. Udara we maybe earring. So my brothers and sisters, without being distracted, I want us to know and understand it this way. The Igbo cultural identity is not something you can easily change. The Iseluku woman that sold it to me, God will bless her because she's true to her word. In fact, she was so confident that I should first lick one. I should not buy. And I said, oh, this woman just wants to trap me. Or I told her to just sell for me. Well, let's modara. Worry, I love one. You like Ria? Leah. Some of the things we used to do as children. Worry, Olodara. Worry, Meme Yeri. Alante, Alana, Banante. Olodara. So, the woman told me the Odara is very sweet. See my Odara earring. Thank you so much, James, my brother. So, what I used Odara to illustrate is cultural identity. I now remember that I have Odara here plenty that I got from Iseluku. Cultural identity is not like Odara because if anybody knows Odara, this one is it fine? No, it's not fine. You pick another one, is it fine? No, it's not fine. Cultural identity is not something you can cherry pick. It is not. You are either Igbo or you are not. Okay, this person is asking what language am I speaking? I'm speaking English. My name is Ikoya with Asusu Igbo. Igbo language and English. Igbo people are predominantly found in Nigeria and so many other parts of the world. I don't know where you are commenting from, so you can let me know. This Odara is very sweet. All the way from Iseluku, one of the communities where you will see the Indigenous claiming that they are not Igbo. That they are from Benin. Wow, Pakistan. It's nice to have you on board. I know you are definitely not Igbo, but it's nice to see you. Oh, Ebere, you said you're commenting from Europe. Ebere, it's nice to have you on board. I am making this live stream from Asaba, the capital of Delta State in Nigeria. It's nice to have you all on board. My topic today is to let us know that cultural identity is not something you can cherry pick. We can discuss all these things later, okay? But I am a media personnel. I'm a media personnel and I'm a graduate of biotechnology as well. So I had my first degree in biotechnology from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. Because it's important that I answer that question. One of the things they used to taunt us is, I'm a two-time special assistant to the government of Delta State. First of all, I was a special assistant on community liaison. Then I'm a special assistant on technical education. So, but there's no greater sense of duty than to push our people to know their cultural identity. Identity fits your dignity and your soul. That one money cannot buy it. There's no amount of money somebody will get or acquire tomorrow and they say, you are now an Igbo man, when you were not an Igbo man. Even if you become indigenized, some people saying, we knew him, he used to be Yoruba, or now he's claiming to be Igbo. So when you ndị ọ bụ na ego anaghị egote ha, there are things you are born into. Thank you for this. God bless you. What you have just said is the truth. This is the first counter that we know as children. We use it to learn addition and subtraction. I've once suggested it to my wife, but we thought about it that now it's no longer like then. Children will just go and swallow it now. But then they used to put fear in us that if you swallow this odara seed, it will germinate in your stomach, come out in your ear, come out in your eye, and come out in your nose. So thank you for that one. Yes, that's true, Ebere. You see somebody whose name is completely Igbo. I was embarrassed by one of my friends who is highly educated, a graduate. In fact, a graduate of communications. He keeps coming online to say he is not Igbo. So one day, we're discussing about Igbo identity, and I asked him, what is the symbol of authority used in your community? He said, Ofo. I said, that's it. Every part of Igbo land has this. Because the video I put says, Nwoke Jiofo, Nwanyi Jiofo. And he said, Nwanyi Jiofo too. I said, yes, Nwanyi Jiofo. He said, women don't touch Ofo. And I asked him, the Ada in your lineage, what does she use for governance? Is it Ofo or not? He said it's Ofo. I said, so what are you saying? We are one people. And we acknowledge it. We're not going to force our own Odibende on you if you are not from our place. But we know there is Odibende. Odibende does not erase the totality of the Igbo culture. It has been a very wonderful time with you, my friends. And I'm saying, thank you so much for making this live stream a very engaging one, a very entertaining one. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please quickly hit the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos, watch them, invite people to come and subscribe, and then leave a comment. Suggest to us things you feel we can do, even areas where we are not getting it right, when we explain something that you feel there is more information to it, or the one we explained is not how it is truly done. Correct us, because we are all learning together. Like I say, I have learned more from this platform than the knowledge I have brought to it. I spend money to acquire books, both online and offline, hard copy works, books that are newly published, all to bring information to us. And I'm very glad about how far we have gone in this. Thank you so much, everyone. Do have a very wonderful evening. Please share this video as much as you can. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, kindly do so immediately. And I will see you in my next video. Dalane.